Hello everyone, this is Goosebumps Godzilla, and we've recently reached the milestone of 250 subscribers. And right about now, we will be able to reach our 1-year channel anniversary. And so in honor of this occasion, in my last video, I asked you guys to comment down in the comment section of the last video their questions for the 250 subscribers special, and today we've hit 250 subscribers. I already know if I already said that before, sorry if I already did, but again, today we hit 250 subscribers. And so anyway, again I say, in the last video, you guys comment down below your questions that you had for this video. And so right about now, I'm going to be answering all your questions. I just want to thank you so much for 250 subscribers. I really appreciate it. But anyway, guys, let's get into the questions that we have. And so the first one comes from Insanity Dog, and that is, maybe you said this in the past, but what is your favorite Goosebumps stories / series? I was also wondering, since you've been doing this for about a year, what is your favorite theory of yours that you've done so far? So to answer the first question, what's my favorite Goosebumps story series? I'm going to have to say it's a tie between 3 series, maybe. The first one is the, of course, original 62 series from the 90s. And the second one is Horrorland, and the third one's Most Wanted. I don't really know why I like Most Wanted so much. I guess I like the concept. Really, I don't like too many of the stories in there. Well, I do like a lot of them, but about half of them I don't like. Like, I don't like Son of Slappy. I never really liked Frankenstein's Dog. I didn't like Planet of the Lawn Gnomes. There's a couple of others that I just didn't enjoy. The Haunter I didn't really like too much. There's just a couple of ones that I didn't really enjoy, but there's some really great ones in there too, like Zombie Halloween, My Friend's a Monster, or something like that. But, you know, I don't know, I really like the concept of Most Wanted. I wouldn't say it's my favorite. Probably my favorite would be the original 62, but I also really enjoyed the Horrorland series. I think Horrorland would be my #1 if it wasn't for Weirdo Halloween, which is my least favorite Goosebumps book. But anyway, I'm spending too much time on that question. And so the next one is that what's my favorite theory that I've done so far? So I don't really have a favorite. I would say of the favorites, it's Were the Creeps Successful? I've done that video a little while ago. And I also like Why the Body Squeezers Keep Changing. They chose the wrong dad and stay out of the basement. I also like Shock Street was a movie. That one's pretty good. And I also like Aunt Delilah is an alien. And those are some of my favorite theories that I've done so far. And so anyway, that's all the questions that Insanity Dog has had. So the next question comes from Horror Channel Reviews. And so his first question is, how did you get introduced to Goosebumps? So I was first introduced to Goosebumps from the Goosebumps movie that released in 2015. And so after that, I watched the Goosebumps television series, because I think that was on Netflix, so I watched that. And I never really read the books until a little while later, mainly because the cover art was pretty terrifying, like the Frankenstein's Dog cover art where there's like an eyeball on the collar, and everything like that. But eventually I picked up Curse of the Mummy's Tomb, and I read that story. And that's pretty much how I was introduced to Goosebumps. Second question is, which standalone book from the original 62 series would have deserved a sequel according to you? I would have to say Calling All Creeps, not only because it's my favorite Goosebumps book, but I think they could do so much with that. Also, another Invasion of the Body Squeezers book I think would be pretty cool to have. Also, an Abominable Snowman of Pasadena sequel. I don't know, there's a bunch of Goosebumps books that I would like a sequel for. The Body Squeezers answer was not from the original 62 series, but there's a bunch of Goosebumps books that I think deserve another sequel, in my personal opinion. But anyway, then there's the third question. Apart from Goosebumps, do you watch any other TV show or horror film? And really, I don't. I mean, other than Goosebumps, I have watched Are You Afraid of the Dark? I've seen all 7 seasons of that, and I saw the first season of the Revival series that was in 2019 or so. Honestly, the 2019 Revival series is better than the whole entire series of the old Are You Afraid of the Dark. I like Are You Afraid of the Dark? That one's pretty good. I mainly just like the first 2 seasons from the old 90s series. But other than that, yeah, that's pretty much all the horror TV show stuff I watch. I also watch Tales from the Crypt Keeper, which is like a cartoon version of Tales from the Crypt. I haven't seen Tales from the Crypt. I'm not a big fan of Tales from the Crypt Keeper, and I've also seen a couple of episodes from the first season of Haunting Hour. I didn't really like that either. But yeah, that's pretty much all the horror TV show stuff I watch. And other than Goosebumps. It's all pretty much along the same lines as Goosebumps, so yeah. Next question comes from Nicole Araville. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that name wrong. Basically, he said, congratulations on getting so many subscribers. If you had to pick one Goosebumps monster, at least from their book, besides Hannah, who would it be? And so, I would honestly say it would be, just judging from, if you want to survive, unless you don't want to, interact with the monster, you just want to survive from the monster. If you have to pick one, I would say the Bog Monster from How to Kill a Monster. This is mainly because the monster can't really hurt you due to him, being allergic to humans. And so that's kind of my reasoning behind that. And from what we see in the book, I think he's kind of slow, so that means you can escape from him. And I don't know if he's that physically strong due to him being locked in a room, and so he never really broke down the door. I don't know, maybe he just likes to stay there, maybe he doesn't. I'm not really sure, but he's slower. He's stronger, and he'd be by himself, and if he tried to eat me, which would be his main goal, if he was attacking me, then he would, die, and plus, he does have human intelligence, he has super, strong intelligence, but I don't think that would help him that much. So yeah, that's why I think I'd pick the Bog Monster out of any of them. And so the next one comes from Muhammad Ali Imran CH, I'm not really sure how to pronounce that, but pretty much he said, to you, which Goosebumps book, I guess, felt incomplete, and was there a Goosebumps book, which was good, but the episode was bad, or the episode wasn't there, and what are your opinions on Series 2000 endings, and which are the two worst endings in that series? Okay, so the first question is, to you, which Goosebumps book felt incomplete? And I'm not really sure. The most recent Goosebumps book, 5th grade Zombies, I have to say kind of felt a little incomplete in my personal opinion. And Full Moon Fever kind of did feel incomplete itself. I do not like Full Moon Fever too much. That one did not feel too complete either. Also, Be Afraid, Be Very Afraid felt very incomplete when I was reading that one. And I'm not really sure. Nothing really from the original 62 series. And nothing really from the Horrorland series. Most Wanted, nothing really from Most Wanted either. Just mainly those books that I mentioned. So, next question is there a Goosebumps book that was good, but the episode was bad, or the episode wasn't there? So, it's gonna be The Ghost Next Door. I love The Ghost Next Door. It's such a great Goosebumps book, definitely in my top 5 favorites. And the episode's probably, in my personal opinion, the worst Goosebumps episode of all time. I don't know, I did not like the episode that much, and I really love the book, so to answer that question, I would say it had to be that one. And so then it's, what are your opinions on the Goosebumps Series 2000 endings? And I don't really care about the Goosebumps Series 2000 endings. I don't really see how they're different from other ones. There are a couple of bad endings in the Goosebumps Series 2000. Some of them I've already mentioned, like the ones that were incomplete. But there's never really a bad Goosebumps Series 2000, ending other than Full Moon Fever and Be Afraid, Be Very Afraid. Other than that, I think they're all pretty much good. Earth Geeks Must Go had a strange ending, but that one was fine. I'm not really sure. I'm not particularly bothered by bad endings most of the time, unless they're really bad. But yeah, I'd say, in his next question, 2 worst endings in that series. Definitely Full Moon Fever have one of the worst endings, and Be Afraid, Be Very Afraid. And so, that's pretty much all the questions asked by Muhammad Ali Imran, or something like that, I don't really know. But next is coming from Joking. And he asks, how did you find Goosebumps, and what is the first Goosebumps book you read? So, I kind of already answered that question with Horror Channel Reviews question, so yeah. The first Goosebumps book I read, I already said, and that was Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. And so the next question I'm asked, I've got 10 questions from this one person, and his name is McHugh Villarreal. And I'm sorry pronouncing that name incorrectly or whatever, but his first question is, how big is your Goosebumps collection this year? I'm not really sure how big it is. I would say over 200 books at least. Yeah, I would say like 200, 210 or so, if I was just estimating myself. Yeah, so that's pretty much all of how big my Goosebumps collection is, really. I did a collection video for 100 subscriber special, if you ever want to check that out, but Next one is Be Afraid, Be Very Afraid, bad. Yes, I would say Be Afraid, Be Very Afraid is pretty bad. I mean, it's not terrible, and I like the concept that they have, and I kind of wish the dragon was in there longer, and all of that stuff, but it was okay until they started switching protagonists. I didn't like that aspect about the story, and they're pretty much doing time jumps. And then the ending was terrible, in my personal opinion, so I wouldn't say it's bad. The beginning of the book was pretty good, but it's not that great. So next question is the first Goosebumps film the best Goosebumps film? And I would say yes, the first Goosebumps film is the best Goosebumps film. The second one's fine. I don't know, there's a bunch of aspects that I do not like to that movie, you know, and the movie honestly kind of felt very rushed, and I don't know, I think it could have been longer, and I kind of wish they stuck with the Horrorland aspect that was originally set to happen. But anyway, guys, the next question is my YouTube channel very good? Or, is my YouTube channel good? I would say it's a pretty good YouTube channel. I haven't seen that many videos on there. I haven't really been watching that many Goosebumps videos lately, but from what I've seen, the channel's really good. I really like the video when you were talking about the origins of Mrs. Dark in the Dark family. That was a pretty good video. And the video about all the monsters that were set up here in the second draft of the Goosebumps script, that one was a pretty good video too. There's a bunch of good videos on your channel, highly recommend it. But from what I've seen, yes, a very good channel. So next one is, what's your ranking on the Tales to Give You Goosebumps series? So the worst I would say is the first one, Tales to Give You Goosebumps. I don't know, there just weren't that many good stories in there. I didn't like them too much. And the next book, I would say, would have to be the second one. Even More Tales to Give You Goosebumps, or is More Tales to Give You Goosebumps, I'm sorry. Yeah, that one was probably my second least favorite. After the first one, they're all pretty good. I really like More Tales to Give You Goosebumps, but compared to the other ones... No, wait, no. I'm so sorry about this. I got messed up on my ranking. The fifth one is the second worst. Didn't like that one as much. It was still pretty good, but the next one is More Tales to Give You Goosebumps. Then after that, it's Even More Tales to Give You Goosebumps. Or wait, no. I'm sorry. I can't really remember these books too well. So the second best, I'm really sorry, guys, is More and More and More Tales to Give You Goosebumps, the winter one. And then the first one is Even More Tales to Give You Goosebumps, the third one. So yeah, that's pretty much my ranking for the Tales to Give You Goosebumps stories. Oh, I'm so sorry. I keep forgetting these books. I'm really sorry about this. Let me just start this ranking all over again. So the worst I would say is Tales to Give You Goosebumps. Second worst is the fifth one, More and More Tales to Give You Goosebumps. The next worst I would say is the what's it called? The More Tales to Give You Goosebumps. It's still really great, but it's not as good as some of the other ones. Then the one after that is probably the winter one, More and More and More Tales to Give You Goosebumps. Then it's Even More Tales to Give You Goosebumps. And then there's a lot more Tales to Give You... The fourth one, the Halloween one. That's the other one. I'm sorry, I'm spending too long on these questions, but next one is, do you like Triple Header? I haven't read any of the Triple Header books, so I can't really answer that question. So next is, what is your favorite and least favorite Give Yourself Goosebumps book? My favorite would probably be Revenge of the Body Squeezers, and my least favorite would have to be, what's it called? Werewolf in the Lodge, Werewolf of Twisted Tree Lodge, that's it. I'm sorry about that, guys. But next one is, which is better, Blue Monster Blood or Green Monster Blood? I would say Green Monster Blood is better, in my personal opinion. Next is, did Greg die at the end of Say Cheese and Die Again? Not really sure. I would say no. In my personal opinion, I just don't think Greg would die at the end of Say Cheese and Die Again. Not really sure. I haven't read that book in a little while, so I can't really remember the ending that well, but I think Greg survived at the end of Say Cheese and Die Again. And the next one is Full Moon Fever a good or bad book? I would say it's pretty bad. I can read Goosebumps books pretty fast, and that one took me months to read. I read other Goosebumps books, because I just really didn't like that one. I've tried reading it multiple times, and I never really liked it, and I never was thoroughly entertained by it, so I kept sitting it down and setting it down. Eventually, I finished it, but I did not like it, no. And so, pretty much that's all the questions we have today for this video. I'm sorry about how long this was and how long I stayed on the questions. That was my bad. Sorry about that, but that's all the questions we have for today in this Q&A. So I want to thank you guys so much who commented on the Q&A for commenting and everything like that. I want to thank you guys so much for watching and subscribing to the channel. We've got 250 subscribers in a year, so I want to thank you guys so much for that. Anyway, guys, that's the end of my video. And again, thank you guys so much for 250 subscribers.